Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a f***ing con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids, to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and you know that's a human being. With Newsom, you got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person.
Gavin Newsom, if you're listening to this, you're a failure. Mayors are actually some of the most powerful people in the country. The police are responsive to the mayor. The building codes are responsive to the mayor. The homeless, mayors are very, very powerful. So he was mayor of San Francisco. Would you let your son walk the streets of San Francisco unaccompanied at 1 a.m.? No, you wouldn't. I'm sorry. Your son can't walk the streets of the city that you were in.
What do you get when you mix Joe Rogan's unfiltered truth bombs with Charlie Kirk's relentless bulldozer sarcasm and razor-sharp wit? You get Gavin Newsom's inflated political ego getting drop-kicked straight into a flaming dumpster fire he proudly ignited himself. From shiny hair gel to full-blown hypocrisy, absolutely nothing is safe. Rogan and Kirk didn't just criticize, they turned California's so-called golden boy into shredded political mulch. And the spectacle is downright glorious. Buckle up for a roast session so brutal, Newsom never even saw it coming. Spoiler alert, his eyebrows weren't the only thing that got scorched in this savage takedown. Let's dive headfirst into the chaos.
You see the governor talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down. And he did this little dance. Show it to him, Jamie.
We had some ideas around some land use concerns around speculators coming in, buying up properties. We're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward.
With a big smile on his face.
Clark, you guys are posting these cringe videos on social media.
What are the videos? What are the ones that
I don't know, this
cringy?
harmonious thing of 22 senators all saying the same thing.
You didn't like that, yeah.
I didn't like it. Go ahead, go do more of that.
What do you do?
Please.
What do you do? Seriously, Charlie Kirk, give us some.
Joe Rogan didn't need a suit, a teleprompter, or a gallon of hair gel to bulldoze Gavin Newsom into political embarrassment. All it took was a functioning brain, a sharp tongue, and the ability to sniff out political nonsense from 10 miles away, blindfolded. Newsom, meanwhile, strutted around California like he was the poster boy for a high-budget shampoo commercial that moonlights as a recycled climate sermon. The man preaches about saving the environment while cruising in a private jet that doubles as a flying climate crime scene. Hypocrisy much?
I will say, if you look at Gavin Newsom's numbers, there's a Newsweek article, though. His numbers are down dramatically as far as favorability, trust, authenticity since he started this podcast. It's not going very well for him of how people view him. So for that, I will say that I think we have done a good job of exposing him for being this synthetic.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon, and stay tuned for more truth bombs. You could practically hear Joe Rogan's brain short-circuiting from second-hand smugness every time Gavin Newsom opened his mouth. This is the same podcast host who can casually dissect quantum physics mid-kettlebell swing, but even he couldn't wrap his mind around how California's self-declared savior managed to torch nearly every industry he touched. Tech giants fleeing, Hollywood relocating, small businesses flatlining, and homelessness skyrocketing faster than Newsom's ego in front of a mirror. It's dysfunction disguised as leadership, and Rogan wasn't having it.
The governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate.
But would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that.
Why is it you were able to clean it up for Xi Jinping, but
that was you guys. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. By the way, you guys weaponized that. I saw that on 25 things. It was the most ridiculous. That was, you know what? I will happily revert back to your counterpoint
as
weaponized. In this case, weaponized. Weaponized.
Charlie Kirk didn't even need caffeine to roast this man into political ashes. All it took were the latest numbers from California's disaster tracker, also known as the morning news wrapped in misery. Newsom governs like he's playing SimCity while blindfolded, buzzed on kombucha, and using broken Wi-Fi. Kirk practically combusted on air, pointing out how Gavin managed to turn the once great Golden State into a rusted-out ruin with palm trees, taxes, and tent cities. It's not leadership. It's performance art gone terribly wrong.
Gavin Newsom talks about California. He's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. Hey, they're all moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. It's too expensive to leave versus all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. It's too expensive.
The kicker? Newsom still thinks he's presidential material because nothing screams ready to lead a nation like being the human embodiment of skyrocketing taxes, sidewalk feces, and rolling blackouts. The man is basically a walking PSA for why Americans are fleeing blue states faster than cats, sprinting from a dog park during a thunderstorm. Rogan couldn't hold it in. California used to be the dream, the beaches, the innovation, the culture. Now it feels like a Mad Max sequel produced by NPR and sponsored by Whole Foods. And smack in the middle of that post-apocalyptic chaos, there's Newsom, flashing that insufferable fake grin like he just solved poverty while tiptoeing around a tent city. And somehow, in the delusion-filled echo chamber of his mind, this qualifies as visionary leadership. Even when Newsom tries to sound tough, it's like watching a labradoodle yapping at a lion. Loud, but laughable. His emergency declarations are buzzword salads with zero substance. His hair has more structure, strategy, and spine than any of his policies. Yet he still preaches with the confidence of a man who thinks his Tesla charges the moon and powers the future with pure self-righteousness.
Gavin Newsom, if you're listening to this, you're a failure. Mayors are actually some of the most powerful people in the country. The police are responsive to the mayor. The building codes are responsive to the mayor. The homeless, mayors are very, very powerful. So he was mayor of San Francisco. Would you let your son walk the streets of San Francisco unaccompanied at 1 a.m.? No, you wouldn't. I'm sorry. Your son can't walk the streets of the city that you were in.
Joe Rogan's podcast has hosted neuroscientists, astronauts, elite scholars, and world-class thinkers who can dissect reality on a molecular level. Then he glances at Gavin Newsom's press clips and hears the intellectual equivalent of a microwave beep on loop. Gavin speaks in polished nothings, vague platitudes wrapped in smug delivery. It's like being lectured on fire safety by a guy wielding a flamethrower in a bone-dry forest during a drought. Charlie Kirk didn't hold back either. He practically had a comedic field day, mapping Newsom's failed policies to the U-Haul exodus out of California. It's like Black Friday at Target. But instead of deals, people are just trying to escape high taxes and government overreach. Residents are leaving faster than Gavin dodges accountability, and somehow he still looks surprised, like, wait, what do you mean wildfires got worse after I slashed forest management budgets and blamed climate change? Newsflash, you can't solar panel your way out of bad governance. But Gavin tries anyway, wrapping failure in buzzwords and hoping no one notices. Rogan roasted him so casually, it bordered on performance art. Watching Newsom explain why Californians are fleeing is like watching a raccoon explain quantum physics. No logic, just wild gestures and garbage. The man thinks it's all partisan politics. No, Gavin, it's called survival. People want water, power, safety, and to get to Starbucks without stepping over a pile of human waste and a used needle. That's not politics. It's basic human dignity.
Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down. While it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We've got some ideas. A speculator. We're going to have some meetings. Like, he's
really?
Oh, show it to him, Jamie. It's so creepy because it's happening while these people are Their houses have been burned, all their childhood memorabilia, all the stuff for their kids, the photos, the fucking everything they have is gone. All heirlooms, their mother's wedding ring, that kind of shit. Everything's burnt to the ground. And this guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
And let's not forget Gavin's favourite pastime, banning things like he's playing some dystopian version of Monopoly. Gas cars, banned. Freedom, questionable. Logic, missing in action. He governs like a guy who skimmed half a paragraph of a climate science blog while sipping organic kombucha, and then decided to cosplay as a green dictator for fun. And when his utopian policies inevitably crash and burn, he blames Texas, capitalism, or Mercury in retrograde. Take your pick. Charlie Kirk completely lost it watching Gavin try to virtue signal his way out of every disaster he created. One week it's climate change, the next it's equity. Then comes a vague social justice crusade with all the depth of a kiddie pool on a hot sidewalk. Meanwhile, real Californians are busy deciding whether to pay rent or buy groceries, while Gavin tweets from a vineyard like Marie Antoinette with Wi-Fi. Gavin governs with all the subtlety of a velvet-wrapped sledgehammer, looks soft, hits hard, and destroys everything in its path. Joe Rogan didn't just laugh, he clinically diagnosed the Newsom effect, a delusional condition where reality bends around your ego so completely, you start believing your catastrophic failures are historic wins. You tell the public the collapsing power grid is because of climate change, not because you replaced engineers with activists and leadership with slogans.